Hey everybody, your host AMF1534 here. Let's play some more F-Zero! And we have begun White Land 2. And it's a little bit harder than White Land 1. Thus why it's not White Land 1 and it's White Land 2. The only part that really makes it any piece of difficult whatsoever is the fact that it has a really awkward turning sequence. But for the most part, it's not so bad. And this jump can be kind of a pain in the ass too. I highly suggest you hold down during this jump or you're probably not going to make it without turbo. So, other than that, that's really about the extent of this race. Not really a whole lot about it that becomes difficult. Usually, if you can kind of get in the lead, won't be too hard for you to hold it. Especially if you can get through this clean. And that is definitely not what happened. I tried. Can't knock a guy for trying. Oh, you fucker. God, I'm getting pushed around like a fucking ragamuffin right now. I will not tolerate it any longer. I hate those things. You just wait until we get to the King League, ladies and gentlemen. Those things are just going to be worse and worse. I hate them with my entire being. Oh, come on. Of all places that he had to be right there. It's like he was waiting for me just to try to make that turn. God, they just have to get in the way every time. This is definitely not one of my cleaner runs. I have in the past had, like, spectacular luck during this race, but not so much. God, I am yet to get through that, like, without totally fucking it up. Oh well, whatever. At least we are far and away out in first place. That's really all I was shooting for when I was trying to do this. Even as sloppy as it looks, I'm at least, holding my own right now. Unfortunately, here he comes. Here he comes. And I'm going to leave him in the dust right here with a very well-timed turn. Can we make it clean this time? Yeah! Uh-oh. He's coming. He's coming. And I don't mean that in any sort of sexual innuendo way whatsoever. And lo and behold, we have completed it without too much of a problem. It wasn't as nice as I'd like it to be, but whatever. And then cue in the really overly triumphant music that's awesome. It gives you such a sense of gratification that only lasts for just about a minute because you know that something a lot harder is coming up. I could totally compose a soundtrack for a game. I have so many random, like, instrumental beat ideas in my head that I could make them for days. But we all know that I probably won't do that, so yeah. I love game soundtracks. I think that it's kind of like a lost art nowadays because all the video games nowadays focus so much on just like the graphics and realistic qualities and pure violence, and they don't really focus on the soundtracks anymore because that was a really big part of what made video games really fun back in the 90s and earlier, is that they all had really good soundtracks. Like this, for instance, or like Donkey Kong Country had a really good soundtrack, or like Siphon Filter had a really good soundtrack, and just like all those games back from early on. And the best part about those too is that they allowed you to use, they allowed you to kind of immerse yourself into the game a little more than they do now. They just kind of present everything to you on a silver platter. You don't really have to work for it. It's just there. But before I keep rambling on that too much, welcome to the King's Cup. And the third and final installment of Mute City, which it's really not any harder than any of the other ones. The only thing that makes it hard is the fact that there is a minefield that you saw me pointlessly hit for no reason. Luckily, I will show you the optimal path to use your turbo for that will allow you to completely get through that without a scratch. As long as there's nobody trying to get in the way here. So, are you ready? Let's go! Just cut through right there and you're just fine. You can pretty much cut through in a completely straight line and it's gonna work every single time. Unless somebody tries to cut you off or something. Because they're little assholes. And there we go. It's just so easy. Aha. Ah, yes. I love that thing. The recharging thing that I don't even. I wonder if it's like just flying above me at all times, or because it seemed like it was just right there when I needed it. Who's to know? It's one of those things that, just like I said, you have to use your imagination and wonder where it comes from. You can't just, you know. It's just fun that way. It's just fun. Yeah, like I said, this is just not a hard course. I mean, I'm hardly even stressing my brain on this one whatsoever. I need to not talk too much shit. Right when I start getting lax, that's when I made a small mistake. But no harm done, really. There's the end. Oh boy. Are you ready for the next one, everybody? I don't think you are. Because... Alright, everybody. Welcome to Deathwind 2. Once again. Not really once again, actually. Just because I've played this game a few times in the past few days. And I always seem to come here. This is just not a very fun area to be in. Bum, 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 bum. If you're using the same vehicle as me, I highly advise you don't hit these things. I got really lucky out of that exchange, but if you're, you know, not really paying attention and you hit those turbo things on the ground, it's going to make your experience not fun because it will send you careening out of control seamlessly through all these narrow alleys and such. See what I mean? And you're going to come out with about a third or a quarter of your power bar just gone. Just completely gone. So I encourage you to not do it. Fuck. It could have been a little bit worse, but I'll take it. And I got an extra life. Sweet! Let's see if we can get a clean lap for once. I hardly ever get clean laps on this fucking course. It's just too much chaos. It's already bad enough that the walls are trying to suck you in. Let alone, you know, having all this crazy shit going on. As long as you can stay in first and, like, maintain your lead, you're gonna be alright. But that's not exactly the easiest task to live up to. So, let's see if we can just hold on tight. Okay. No. See, I'm telling you, one mistake will just totally ruin it. Because no matter how good you feel like you're doing, you're really not. They're always right behind you. And that is the thing about this game that makes it difficult. But luckily, they'll give you little gifts like that. How fucking fast is that guy going? He wasn't that far ahead of everybody just a second ago. Alright. One clean lap and we're home free. But you can never really ever count that to happen. Ever. In this game. Ever. No, don't you dare hit me before I hit this. Fucking fuck! It happens every time. Every fucking time. I mean, at least I made it in third, but that's fucking bullshit. It's like they time it on purpose if you're in second place. Every time. Anyways, we are out of time for this episode. When we come back on Let's Play F-Zero, we're going to do Port Town 2. Your host, AMF, saying goodbye for now, guys. See you later.